Welcome, brothers. Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program On Target. And as we start this program, you can pick up the telephone and give us a call. We never have a subject matter. We speak about any issues. And there's a lot of issues trending in the world today, from Russia sending out supersonic missiles on Ukraine and some level of peace between Israel and Hezbollah. War still going on between Israel and Hamas and other areas in the world. And you have the Prime Minister of Israel, Netanyahu, and the Chief Minister, Foreign Minister, been warrant out for their arrest for genocide. The United States is objecting to it. Other European countries supporting it. And in the Caribbean here, we continue to have our issues, and in Africa, and in Grenada too, we have our own challenges. And we have to always believe that we have to sit down and address our challenges and come up with solutions, not other people. If you're calling people to help you solve the problem, they go make problem for you. You sit down, you come up with a solution, and you may have to involve others to assist you. But they must not assist you in identifying what your problem is. So today we are on the program RealFM 91.9, 91.5. We are on We Noise FM 94.9 in Brooklyn, New York. We are on YouTube and Facebook. We encourage you to subscribe to our program and share our program. Tell people about it. It's a good program. Encourage your children to listen to our program. We fear no subject matter. We express our opinion on any issues. Opinions are not facts. Opinions are people make their opinion on subject matter based upon their own prejudice and the information they have at the time. If you give me new information that is credible, I change my opinion. Particularly in the political arena, I express my opinion on any subject matter. And as we start today, the first working day of the week, the first day when your children had a weekend and they go back to school, I want it to be deeply embedded in our cranium that our children exiting school should be well educated, multi-skilled, flexible, and endowed with the characteristics that gives them the competitive edge on the market. Every parent must know that. And when I say parent in Grenada, immediately I gravitate to the women. 60% of the household in Grenada are led by women. The areas where men have the power, if the woman don't agree with you, God help you. So when I speak, I target women because I believe our women is not hungry enough for education. Yes, we have a few. And the few that are hungry, they're selfish. They only want education for their children. But the majority of our women are very complacent. Mediocrity run the day. They don't understand that the children need to be educated. There is absolutely no reason in Grenada why the vast majority of children cannot go to school and exit well prepared for the job market. So I again promote that our children exiting school should be well educated, multi-skilled, flexible, and endowed with the characteristics that gives them the competitive edge. You could take that statement and bring it to anybody in Grenada and look and listen to their reaction. When you're speaking to people, look at them. Look at them in their eyes. See if they're blinking. Most time they want to lie for you. They want their children to succeed. But in a lot of instances, they don't care if your children succeed. The very education system that we have is not hungry for education. Let me repeat that. I feel very strongly about that. The education system must be hungry for education. The majority of children that pass through the education system, when they exit, they should have a minimum requirement. What is a minimum requirement? Parents, you have to sit down and ask yourself now, what do you consider as a minimum requirement for your child? What do you mean by being multi-skilled? What do you mean by your child being flexible? What do you mean when we say they must be endowed with the characteristics that gives them the competitive edge in the marketplace? We have to sit down and hold discussion. Even though it is you and your man alone in the house, your spouse, your husband, or just your boyfriend, you must speak about children education. You speak about material things every day. You speak about food. You speak about electricity, the basic utilities. You speak about party and fete. Do you sit down and speak to your man or your spouse about the education of his child? When a girl gets pregnant, do you sit down and talk with a man that breed you about education and the challenges of education and what we want for our children? Don't at this time in Grenada, I believe it's opportune for this discussion to take place. Because this time in Grenada, we are at a junction, a turning point, where you realize you could have a government as this one. I don't think anybody in Grenada envisage that we do have a government like Deacon and this group. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes,
How was the
caller.
weekend?
Great, man. Good one.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre, you have a bomber time yesterday. Yesterday evening at the bushes in Pierre.
That is the big meeting of the NNP.
Yeah.
Give me three of the main takeaway of that meeting.
Yeah, bro.
Give me some of the main takeaways of that meeting.
The real takeaway of the meeting is the youth. The speakers that spoke yesterday was emoji. I said they were young people, and they gave an update of what is going on in the country, what is going in the country, and some of them spoke about what they saw in NMP that make them support NMP. They say they saw NMP as a party that cares and they love of the poor people in the country. So the policy of NMP motivate them to join the young people. And what NMP was doing yesterday is shaping the future of the party because a man will not reign forever. So they lay in the ground. But when they leave, the young people will take over the party. So wonderful turnout yesterday, and if people turn out, don't matter the rain, people turn out to that meeting.
And you had some visiting. Was the St. Lucian Prime Minister, your ex-Prime Minister you had?
Yeah, the St. Lucia and the Jamaican, St. Lucia African leader and the Jamaican Prime Minister were there. They spoke also. And
Andrew Holness.
In part.
Andrew Holness.
Yeah. Yeah. They spoke again when they speak about what about the Caribbean, right? Obviously, they will get internal
No, they don't. You're not
of
supposed to
party in their
get
country.
involved.
They don't go in, they don't go there. And I can be sharing again, as in usual style, they outline the achievement of NMP, right? And where you want to see NMP after you left, right? Yeah. So, um, Mr. Pierre, what we like to speak about is so Tuesday coming. The parliamentary rep, Dr. Mitchell, will be having a meeting at the Harperell Secondary School, time 6 p.m. Everyone are invited to come out to that meeting to hear
Happy
what
Hill
plan
is in the
that
Prime Minister's in the Dr. Michel constituency.
yes,
Okay.
yes, 6 p.m. Tuesday evening. Everyone is invited to come out to hear what future that Dr. Michel have for the constituency to develop for the development of St. George Northwest. Right? We have to look forward and we have to look on the positive side to bring development to the constituency. So, Mr. Pay, have a blessing.
Yes, my friend. Good day. So the NNP had some action this uh, first day in December. We well know that the NNP having the convention on the 15th of December, and a new leader will evolve from that convention. It all indicates that they will have a new leader on the 15th of December. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hey, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
How are you, my brother?
Great, great.
Good afternoon, man.
Yeah.
Mr. Pierre, I want to talk a little about agriculture.
Go right ahead.
Mr. Pierre, you don't think that to help the situation with agriculture, you could imagine a place as Hermitage, Moya, Montreach, none of them have a farmer's market. What about all exotic fruits? You know what I'm talking about. The Mami seafood, the sinking to the penny piece, water lemon. Them things could be introduced to the world coming from Grenada. And the only how we could do it is to organize the community. And then we have farmers market. I have to go all the way. Somebody from Hermitage who have to go all the way in Granville to get ahead of some shit what they want. You know, that don't make sense, Mr. Pierre. I think if we have farmers market in some of the communities, it will introduce more of the young people to plant. Not only that, funds could be going to be circulating in the community. And it will be more convenient for us, but we're going to eat much healthy.
One of the challenges that you have with these markets is, in most instances, it becomes uneconomical. Because you have most of these supermarkets will sell a little thing. Sometimes they have provision, cabbage, carrot, tomatoes, and seasoned pepper. And these things are inconsistent on the market. So one of the challenges is people have, from time to time, attempted to sell agricultural products, but it will become uneconomical. You had the marketing board in St. Patrick's that was doing relatively well from a consumer perspective. Consumer went in and could have get a wide variety of products. But the government has closed down the marketing board. So I think, yes, I agree with your point. And maybe some shops and supermarkets could try to have a wider variety. But I tell you, it's a challenge to get certain things in the market. If you want Tanya, seasoned pepper, cabbage, lettuce, it is very inconsistent.
Mr. Pierre, that's where the farmers market will come in. And our stuff is much healthier. It is much better. And it could be, you're going to be more convinced it's better for we. But again, we have to organize. You know, in the community, I mean, so much young guys doing nothing. And if on a Saturday morning, and we could go so far, like, if when things pick up, it could be right through the week. The farmers market right there. We do it on a professional level. Everybody who going to be selling it will be going to register and have a card. Because we don't want nobody going to steal nobody thing and come there to sell it. Register your card, and you pay an entrance fee, and we take it from there. If all you have stuff, something like that in Moya, we could do it both ways. If somebody coming home and teach and they can get what they want, we can make a call to you somewhere down there and see if you have that. And, you know, we could try that, man. We could try that. And we have stuff. We have lots of stuff wasting. Lots of stuff wasting. And we could do better. Print cards, go and drop it in them hotels, the local store, the local grocery stores, with the local stuff. But again, farmers market in the community. How much each? We need that, brothers.
Okay.
We need that. All right, my brother, hold it up.
Yes.
Please.
Mammy apple and bread nut and some other products. There is market for it in the United States of America. And there are some people who are exporting soursop that will export these products. But it's very difficult to get. Bread nut and mammy apple. You know, there are a lot of our people don't know what is penny piece. They don't know what is poidu. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre, and
Yes,
how are you today?
great man, good man.
Yeah, I want to give a little talk on this the party
Yeah.
thing, and I want to ask you a question, and I want you to help me answer it. Yeah, with this convention and this party and them in Grenada who took us from Mr. Gary, he was the first prime minister. Well, from Mr. Gary right down to this present time, how many liars? What head the party as a leader? I'd like you to help me with how many of them, if you could remember. Because remember Mr. Ben Jones?
Mr. Blaze was a lawyer.
Yeah.
Tillman was a lawyer.
Yeah.
He's a lawyer.
Yes.
Blaze and Tillman, well, Nazim is also a lawyer.
Yeah.
I think that's the three. Buffett was an educator. Brizan was an educator.
Dr. Alexis.
Dr. Alexis was a lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brizan was
No. Brizan was an educator.
Historian. Yes, all right.
So much of the lawyers have not done very, very well in politics.
Well, that is what I'm coming with. They know. So many lawyers went through as prime minister, and they did not do well. So I don't know. To me, I don't find if any election to come again, especially this last cooperated liar we have there, I don't find we should try to put another liar there again. I find some changes must make to head the party, to have somebody in Grenada as a prime minister. I find Grenadians should make a change because the liars and them, some of them don't do well, and this one we have is the worst. He says a corporated liar and is a corporated liar. So I find something could have let us try someone else what is not a liar. Is what God said. We don't know the will of God. What he said to give, that is his will. But we the people ourselves, especially the NNP people, and others, whether it's NDC, let us make a change from a liar, because we're not getting any good work from those liars. So let us make a change and put somebody else what is not a liar, that we should able to see what is going on, because the lawyer and them don't give no good work in Grenada.
They have the convention coming up on the 15th.
Yes.
And at that time, I guess they will choose a new leader.
Yes.
So one would have to hope that the delegates, because only delegates could vote.
Yeah, only delegates.
That they make the decision, and whatever decision they make,
yes,
we hope for the best.
We have to satisfy.
Yeah.
But a final change could make, instead of letting a thing in for a lawyer to go there again, to me, that is not a good sign. So let us watch and see what's going on. And I was in a meeting yesterday. I understand this who come out and say already, just a handful of people he had there, but that is a lie, a big lie, to see the place. And the reason why they don't see the big crowd is because the grass, the path there was so swampy. So
it doesn't matter, because both sides could pull out 10,000 people.
But what I'm saying now, even though NNP don't have a big crowd, when they have a rally or a meeting or something, that is no problem, because crowd is deceiving. The crowd does be deceiving. The time we want the crowd is on the ballot paper when that day reached.
Then you have to do the work. Then the parties have to do the work.
There is where we want the crowd.
Then they have to do the work.
Don't care what crowd you have now, whether it's 2 person, whether it's 3, whether it's what. On the ballot paper, we want the crowd. So we have to do what we have to do.
Okay.
Oh, have a blessed day. God bless you.
Thank you. Yes, in the politics, you're going to have different people championing change for different individuals. And politics is, so far, I think it's been going pretty quiet, because you expect the change of leadership after a significant period of time. Dr. Mitchell has indicated that he may not run back. So you have new individuals who are co-members who have been in the party for years. So it's a matter of choosing among them. And you're going to find people campaigning for particular individuals, and you might even find some exchanges of agricultural language and political language. But one would hope that after the 16th, the NNP rallies behind whoever leads the party. And they continue to propagate the policies of the NNP, because it has definitely worked, particularly for the people who is most challenged in our country. The number to call is 442-0175, and you don't have to call on what we speak about. You could speak about any issue, or you could introduce any issue. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good day.
Yes, my brother.
Yeah. What standard for me yesterday is Alan Chastity, when he say the foundation NNP laid is that what have the country standing today, and that's so true. That was an important one when he make it there. I say, but how this country surviving today thanks of the foundation NNP laid. And I remember Carly Shaw's on the interviewing the Prime Minister at the time there. And he tell him about something about he said about some part killing kettle black or some kind of thing so on. But he didn't deny the corruption. He said at the end of the guy say who you don't see they can't the first stone, but I realize the faith people and the people of get fired. Why he fired the first stone? He said who don't see the first stone. And instead of Karisha was laughing, like she asked the question and she used a rhetoric like the opposition talking about corruption, and Karisha, the joke as a journalist, she's young and laughing more than you guess. That ain't looking good. So she go back and look back at that. She was she faltered as a journalist. You ask the question and you're laughing more than guess. So take it up here.
Well, both of these favorite journalists of the Prime Minister have been performing very low as professional. When they ask a question, they practically want to answer the question for the Prime Minister. And in that area, the Prime Minister incited violence. What the Prime Minister did there was to incite violence against the opposition. And the journalist should have picked it up and challenged him on that. And the journalist did not do that. And I always remind people, the journalist, the fourth estate, that is what you call a journalist, is very important in a democracy. They are the ones who ask questions that they believe the public want to know, but they have access to these individuals. So they do an injustice to the country when they do not ask pertinent questions. But Malcolm X warned us, these journalists could be bought. One of the good things we have going is radio personalities. And the face of the journalist is changing. Because these individuals who believe they are professional journalists, their significance is diluted based upon their performance in the marketplace. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre?
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Got to hear your voice again, man.
Yes, brother, thank you.
I was shocked yesterday to see the NMP spend $1.2 million to bring all these people from away. And the performance was so poor. I was shocked. That was a shocker to me.
You was down in a meeting?
I was down there.
Okay.
Right? I go and see what's going on there.
All right, well, that is good. You was not impressed. You was not impressed with the meeting?
No.
Okay.
To know they spend $1.2 million to do this kind of stupidity, I was disappointed.
You call the meeting stupidness?
I say stupidness. I didn't expect this kind of thing to go on there. I expect a full thing, especially the Prime Minister constituency. I expect the whole place to full.
Yeah.
Because the man said them people will be shaking their boots, you know.
But the place was not filled.
The Prime Minister say the ruling party, they will be shaking their boots when they see people on there. This man campaign for 2 weeks. All the program on them. They're all shouting, you know. Master Rally. All anytime I go on them, they are here. It's totally shut down, Scott. But I was surprised in a way.
He was surprised and he was disappointed.
I was really disappointed in a way.
Okay.
Here, Mr. Pierre?
Yeah.
The Alan Chester day, he come along there and he talking in and said, nobody anything on him.
What he said?
He talking about NMP lead the way and all kind of thing. NMP was about 28, 32 years.
I mean, let's be honest. When you're dealing with the different political parties in Grenada, you don't think NNP led the way?
Well, they was there for 20 years.
No, it doesn't matter. Do you believe they? Well, do you believe they led the way?
Well, they was there 22 years, so it's obvious they have to lead the way. Mr. Pierre, I hear them people talk about how they come back to rescue. You spent 22 years, you could rescue Grenada. Why come back and do? Tell me something different they'll come back and do. The fellows are talking nonsense. They should be that they come back to rescue. Why you got to do different? You can't do nothing different. You could pay pension, you couldn't do nothing. Come back and rescue Grenada. Mr. Pierre, I listened to the parliamentary debate about Heroes Day, and I was disappointed in them NMP people. Mr. Pierre, you have 5 of them there. The 5 parties are the NMP people. And none of them, Mr. Pierre, none of them can propose a date.
Caller.
None of them. Yeah.
Let me correct you on that. It was out of place for them to propose a date. When Deacon was saying, when Deacon was saying that Deacon was rude, he was disrespectful, and he was taunting them. He was not genuine. If he wanted the opposition to participate in promoting a date, then he had to have consultation with them. He met the date, and then he went in parliament trying to turn them. So he wasn't genuine. And that is what I believe is evil about Deacon. Deacon knew he made the date irrespective of what people said about October 19. He wanted to launch the independence celebration on October 19. People objected to that. He make, yes, scholar, welcome.
The voice of one crying out in the wilderness. Senior, how do you do?
Great, man. Good, man.
Right. Senior, if we notice that to everything that this prime minister do, he do it in the form as a dictator. There is no consultation whenever that prime minister need to do what he have to do. He make his date, he look at it, he do his own assessment, and he bring it in the Parliament House. What I say goes, and everybody must settle with that. And that is bad. Your last caller have to realize, when he said that he's disappointed, that there was not much people in Bushaju yesterday afternoon. The amount of people that wanted was to go to that rally. And the only reason why thousands of people are not attend this rally is because they fear for their job and victimization. And I totally agree with people that do not want to risk their job. Because I could remember clearly that he noticed and went out to plenty people who employ with this government. If you ever go to NNP rally on Sunday, don't come back to work. It was said, you're going to lose your job. So I agree with thousands of people who do not really want to risk losing their job in a time like now, when our economy is going into free fall. I quite agree with people who hold their job and do not want to risk it, especially our young people, senior, who wanted us to be there. But because of fear of victimization, they stay clear off. But let that caller know, and I want to let him know, if it was not for that, Bushaju would have think yesterday.
So obviously, the crowd was not what was expected.
Yeah, and it's because of the fear of being victimized.
That perhaps might be one of the reasons.
Yes.
But I'm certain there's a lot of people who are unemployed, who don't have a job,
yes,
and elderly people. And one could always ask,
yes,
if the organization on the ground was as effective as it ought to.
Thank you very much.
You see,
understand? You know?
So if you're playing with crowd,
yes,
you have to stand the consequences when the crowd is not what people expect.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. So don't really look. And then when we have the cost to look at it, man, apart from the crowd, you walk to Grenville, you walk to St. George's, and you could feel that the country is on a standstill. You could feel it. Okay, for example, I travel certain parts of Grenada, and what I am noticing right now, senior, is that our road is in it's bad. You go to the Batwa area, to the north of the island, it's bad. And what we need this Prime Minister to do, calm down, Mr. Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell. Take a walk in St. George's now, can you do that? I'm challenging you. Take a walk in St. George's. Do like it, Mitchell. Go to all the stores. Shake the hand of the people. Let me tell you what is taking place on the ground. Come to Grenville. Why are you not willing to walk the street? And the businessmen can be able to speak to you. And then you can get a feel as to how the economy is going. But Mr. Pierre, it is bad.
Well,
you in your helicopter, you're flying on top, but it is bad.
Is going to get worse.
It is bad.
Yeah,
Come on, Mr. Pierre.
It's going to get worse. It's going to deteriorate.
The businessmen and women are crying out. The bossmen are crying out. The thing is bad. And the Prime Minister is not getting a feel of the people that he represents. Sir, you represent Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit-Martinique. Sir, when last did you go to Carriacou? When last did you, I know you don't like to take boat, but when last did you fly over and land on in Pitimatic with your helicopter and talk to the people and ask them how things going. Christmas is coming.
I think perhaps we should ask the Prime Minister about the 100 house unit in Carriacou. Because what he did is wrong. It's morally, politically, and economically wrong.
It is criminal.
He deceived the people, he lied for them, and he denied them houses.
Yeah.
That was built specifically for them.
For the people.
And
In other words, what are you saying? It is so good for you.
Yeah.
So he took them and he sold them. Mr. Pierre, I'm very concerned.
That is the worst act I've seen in politics in Grenada.
I'm still saying it is criminal.
It is evil.
And how can you represent people and be that heartless?
But you
look at the
could.
people in Dumfries.
You see, again, we don't know what we choose. We select, we gamble, and we end up with a fake as a prime minister.
Do that prime minister expect another term in office of 5 years in office under that condition?
I don't really believe
I don't believe that. And Mr. Pierre, if you look at the people in Dumfries, I have property in Carriacou, and if you look where these houses were built, they actually built close to the dump. And
the dump.
Yeah, you hand over the house to people. There is no electricity. There is no system. There is nothing down there. And as it is present right now, Senior, I want the Prime Minister to know, Mr. Prime Minister, Dickon Mitchell, I send out a special plea to you, sir. Christmas is coming. The goose is getting fat. Sir, please put a penny in the Bush's hand. They don't get no money. There's a lot of young people, Senior, that do not get money as yet. Those that do the debushing, they do not get money. Please, I rest my case, Senior.
Yes, well, a lot of people, sometimes I always spend a lot of time on the policy of government. The NDC, when they were campaigning, did not support the debushing program. They felt it was a program where the government was using it to give handout. They say they will plant our root by the road. Some of the supporters say spray by the road. So I did not expect the government to invest in debushing. I look at the area of Got. I've not heard culture man calling that. But bamboo on both sides of the road kissing one another. Bamboo on both sides of the road. They meet one another. And look at the 1st of December. They have not placed additional gangs on the road. And even those they put, it seems as though it's just simple militant members of the National Democratic Congress. But I'm not disappointed because they campaign on that. I'm not going to blame them for that because they campaign against that. And people were aware and they voted for them. So that's why you don't hear me speaking about these things. I speak about areas where they deceive people. The 100 house unit in Carriacou is a crime. It's immoral. I have difficulties understanding how all these 9 people who are members of NDC, after they chastised the previous government for not handing over the houses to the individuals, then they find the houses was too good for them. So they start to call it condominiums or what. And what we are hearing is they are selling it to the people in the diaspora, in America and Canada and England. In the face of burying a disaster, they still would not give the people in Carriacou these houses. I think the Prime Minister is evil. I don't know what word you could use to best sum up or articulate this kind of behavior except evil. And it's even worse that we are permitting evil to grow. The houses built by the Chinese was low-income houses. We have heard it over and over. The previous parliamentary representative from Kareku, who was one of the negotiators, I believe he was in Foreign Affairs, negotiated 100 houses for Kareku. The houses was given by the then Minister of Housing. The NDC took back the keys from the people who were given the houses, and they decided to sell the houses to people in the diaspora. I always say to people, you must always remember, black people sold us in slavery. We grow up through our life hating the white man and always using racism as if it's some cliche or something that preventing us from succeeding. Black people sold their people in slavery. And the action by Deacon and his group of vultures is unacceptable. I find it difficult how any minister of government, including Tillman Thomas and other Hefes in NDC, could defend that. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, I don't like to call back when people.
Go right ahead. You can call back, man. Go right ahead.
Okay?
Don't bother about what you see. Watch me. Wait.
If he
Watch me. Caller.
It's among
Caller.
the lies that the prime minister is telling to the Grenadian people. Right? Where is telling the people, he go get granite chop on evening, 4 o'clock evening, and go up in the mountain and pick mangoes with granite chop after 4 the evening. Right? If he not disappointed with that, if he not disappointed, where the prime minister said and the group of voters said, they go pay people, everybody will be permanent, and pension money will be paid, everybody will be paid the pension. If he not disappointed with that, and also ask if you're not disappointed with the monthly traveling, the government traveling, whatever could be 40 something times the government travel, right? The monthly travel, the government travel, and the $150 they took out from the seed money from the people. If you're not disappointed with that, right? If you're not disappointed, it things hard, cost of living going up high every day, and the government did nothing to push on the cost of living. If you're not disappointed, the price of water go up, sugar price go up, everything gone up, and the government doing nothing. If you're not disappointed in that, I want to say to the caller, when you call program, you call program and say something that is true, right? Say something that is true and stop calling to a lie and try to mislead people. And we know definitely a lot of people wanted to come, but because of their job, they stay. And we cannot give them work. So they have to protect the job. They have a family. And they have a lot of people because of the past and the rain, a lot of people on the outside. Right? So the turnout was good. They having their meeting out and hardly people could go out because people get fed up with them. Right? And one thing I wanted to know, if the people that are frightened and they working and feeling the hardship of the under the government, one thing I know, come in next election, they will vote. And what we are looking, what we want, where we want to get them to have a better life, and come next election, they will vote. That's what we know, and they will vote in next election to better the living condition. That the living condition under this administration presently is worse. And last question I want to ask the greater people: are your life better off now than before the last election? Mr. Pierre, the answer is surely under the previous government, the poor people life was much better. The amount of road work that to go at this time, Christmas time. Look at the amount of getting there outside. So, you have a base.
Yes, caller, sometimes we have to avoid doing that. The caller called and he expressed his disappointment with the crowd that come in NNP meeting. Obviously, he's not a supporter of NNP, so he's glad that the crowd wasn't too big. And if you're going to challenge him on that. You know, that's how he have to go. Challenge him on that. If the crowd was not, I'm certain that some NNP perhaps disappointed too. They expected a bigger crowd. And it doesn't matter what excuse you make. It doesn't matter what excuse. I thought you might have said there was a massive bingo in River Valley, and that would have attracted people. People would have gone to the bingo. But if the caller said that he was disappointed in the crowd, and he's about the second person I hear say that I didn't get an opportunity to see the crowd. So obviously the crowd was not as, it was good, but it was not as big as you will have it. You know, and we have to have this level of tolerance and objectivity, and because there are a number of issues you could go after. This crowd thing is a this crowd thing is a small thing. We have a prime minister in Grenada that is flaunting the law with impunity. The prime minister is breaking the law for greedy purposes. He breaking the law and he raided the GDP bank. That is more important to me than any crowd and NDC have. The fact that a minister of government, the rumors we are hearing, the minister Lacrette was dissatisfied with the poor management of the National Lottery. And the public is saying he complained to the prime minister. But it appears the prime minister is complicit. The prime minister fired Lacrette and had police escort him out of the office. It is the first time that happened in the history of Grenada. That more important than NNP crowd. The fact that the prime minister is inciting violence in the country is unacceptable. You'd have heard uproar from any corners. Maurice Bishop incited violence. When he went to Simoon and he had the People's Court and he passed resolution and he signed a warrant for the arrest of Eric Gary and gave Gary 14 or 18 days to report to the nearest police station. That was Bloody Sunday. They beat Maurice Bishop there and he should have got more. He didn't get enough. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, ma'am.
I have one concern over something the Prime Minister has said and want to pass it into, I don't know if they have tabled that already, concerning making October 19th a solemn day. And one of the ministers was explaining what should be done on that day. People should go to church and the reverend have no amplified music, and you just can't celebrate anything else on that day. But that day should be reverent and solitary. I have a problem with that because the scripture talk about what is to come, and we are almost at that point, because it says that men will tend to change time and laws. So therefore, every year, October 19th would not be on the same day. So every year, we have to have that special day as a day of worship. Who are you worshiping? What is
maybe the devil? Maybe the devil. This prime minister is evil.
People with common sense would show, because the dead knows nothing. When a person dead, their thoughts perish. The dead cannot come back to say anything. You go, you speak on the grave, the dead don't hear, it's just bones that are there. Have they ever seen any dead man return back to life and walking on the earth and living today? That you could say this person was dead and they came back alive? What you worshiping?
The church is not a question of worship, and people have to be careful. The Prime Minister said morality is a private thing. The Prime Minister said church and state is separate. Now these communists and these atheists does like sleeper cells inside the church. They come to the church, but they dare to damage the church. The church should not participate in Heroes Day.
So what
The church should not participate in that. And a new government should immediately squash that date.
So, Mr. Pierre, why do they want to dictate to people how they should live?
The issue is bigger than that. Deacon is an evil person, and we're letting evil grow. What he wants to do is to dilute the significance of the church, infiltrate it and dilute it.
He'll try, but he will fail.
And the church should not participate in this Heroes Day. And people should ignore this issue about music on that day. Even Good Friday, which is a church holiday, they have not made laws that you shouldn't have amplified music. Exactly. I asked the question, who sent Deacon? Deacon seems to be an evil plant. And we must find out.
I hope his ministers and them thinking very hard on that.
The ministers are not thinking. No, they're not thinking. He has already, you see what Deacon has done, what I believe he has done to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. He has emasculated him.
Well, yeah, because he take up every position, not even foreign affairs, tourism. He's everything. He is everything. Because most of the ministers cannot speak on themselves and bring out exactly what they think and what they thought and how they think things should be done.
Yeah. Yes, thank you.
If he don't say, go ahead, they can't. And the moment they open their mouth to speak, he yap in.
Yeah, thank you,
And they have to shut up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Colin.
Most welcome.
You see, the writing is on the wall. We must not ignore the writing on the wall. There are some things that the politician must not get involved in. Deacon is fighting to make a Heroes Day for Maurice Bishop. Maurice Bishop was a criminal. And he wants to dilute the significance and the power of the church in Grenada. Maurice Bishop did that too. When Sidney Charles go to have dialogue, Bishop Sidney Charles of the Catholic Church, caller, use the last caller and you have to punch. Go right ahead.
Mr. Pierre, you know I always disagree with you that Morris was a hero. Morris is not a criminal.
Caller,
what crime did Morris commit?
Morris Bishop jailed 3,000 people without caller. I ain't talking about America. Caller, I'm not speaking about America. Maurice Bishop didn't lead America.
Speak of a revolution without comparing the American Revolution.
It wasn't a revolution, it was a coup d'etat. It was not necessary. It was not justified.
The coup was on the 19th of October. The end justified the means of getting into power. But Mr. Pierre, what I really call...
Well, you here telling you would have been the last caller.
Right.
Call me tomorrow. Caller, you don't listen.
Face reality.
You got to call me tomorrow to start that discussion. I told you you would have been my last caller, so punch. Make your most important point first. So call me tomorrow and we could start this discussion. And if I remember, I will continue to talk whether Maurice Bishop was a criminal or what. And you bring evidence to counter what I have to say. So tomorrow, to facilitate you, you come with evidence to tell me that the end justifies the means. And we're going to discuss that issue tomorrow on Maurice Bishop. But I want to end on the point that I started on. Obviously, it's not a point that people are very interested in. And that is a statement I make that our children leaving school should be well educated, multi-skilled, flexible, and endowed with the characteristics that gives them the competitive edge in the marketplace. And I'm not talking about 18-year-old children. I'm not talking about 19-year-old children. I'm not talking about 23-year-old children. I'm talking about 16 years old children. 16 and 17. The age at which children exit secondary school is about 16 and 17. When a child exits secondary school, that child should be well educated, multi-skilled, flexible, and endowed with the characteristics that gives them the competitive edge on the marketplace. I want to provoke discussion among our people. What you mean by well educated? Every family might have different yardstick for the children, and nothing is wrong with that. Some people's standards may be different from others. Nothing is wrong with that. But you must know what you want your child to achieve when your child exits secondary school, not national college. And don't get tricked. National college is an option. Your child might decide, I'm exiting school and I'm getting married and have children and starting a family. Your child might decide, I'm exiting school and I'm going and fish. I have enough education to fish. Your child might determine, I'm exiting school, but I'm going in the farming business. I don't need to go to national college, particularly if I come from a farming family. Your child might determine, I exiting school at 16, 17, I'm getting married and I'm getting involved in beekeeping. And I want about 500 hives. And with 500 hives properly managed, that child could be making over $100,000 a year. You don't need to go to college. Your child might decide, I want to make children. I want to be a housewife. So I'm going to choose a good man and go home and make some children. Your child don't have to go in national college. They don't have to go in university. That's an option. That is a choice for further academic learning. But when your child exits school at 16 or 17, your child must be well educated, multi-skilled, flexible, and endowed with the characteristics that gives them the competitive edge. Your child might believe that I want to do hairdressing. You don't have to go in national college to do hairdressing. Sometimes while she was in school, she was doing part-time hairdressing with members of her family. And she felt comfortable, I could open my own salon and run a business. And as we come to the end of our program, we want to provoke discussion on children leaving school at the age of 16 or 17. What level of education you expect them to have? And we're back with you again tomorrow between 12 and 1, when we hope our brother will call Ollie. So we will discuss the issue whether Maurice Bishop was a criminal or a hero. Thank you very much.